Ella, a senior resident of Norway, found herself enamored by the country's abundant riches, from its rich heritage to its myriad points of interest. Yet, what truly anchored her to Norway was its remarkable beauty. The vast plains, the pristine waters of the fjords, and the diverse wildlife freely roaming the natural landscape all contributed to making it one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Living in a modest shack on the outskirts of a serene town, Ella relished a profound sense of seclusion. Despite her advanced age and the proximity to her nearest neighbor, she remained dedicated to fitness, embarking on daily walks through enchanting forests to immerse herself in Norway's natural splendor. However, a startling incident unfolded one fateful day during her woodland stroll. The unmistakable sound of a gunshot shattered the tranquility, disturbingly close. Scanning her surroundings, she found no trace of the hunter responsible, but she sensed someone must have been out there pursuing the deer that frequently roamed those woods. Proceeding cautiously, her senses heightened for signs of danger, she stumbled upon a heart-wrenching scene. There, in the middle of the path ahead, lay a deer, lifeless and wounded, lacking the strength to flee further. It had sought refuge but succumbed to exhaustion, collapsing in despair. Deeply concerned for its well-being, Ella hurried towards the small creature, noting its petite size. Determined, she realized she could manage to carry it with effort. Gently cradling the deer in her arms, she returned to her humble abode. Though lacking medical expertise or training, Ella felt an unwavering commitment to aiding the deer in any way possible, even if saving its life might be beyond her capabilities. Yet she resolved to do her utmost. Placing the animal on her porch, she hastened to procure food and water, determined to help the wounded creature survive. Placing the bowls beside the deer's head, Ella noticed its limited interest, its gaze fixated on the wound with empathetic concern. With meticulous care, she disinfected the injured area, skillfully patching it up using cloths and bandages readily available at home. Covering the deer with a thick blanket, she gently positioned it on her porch, where all she could do was wait and hope. The outcome now hinged on luck, whether the deer would be fortunate enough to survive the night and overcome its ordeal. With minimal expectations, Ella retired to bed, bracing herself for the worst. To her astonishment the following morning, Ella discovered the deer not only alive but also displaying increased alertness, raising its head beside the empty food and water bowls, indicating it had consumed and quenched its thirst. Joy and relief flooded Ella's heart at this positive turn of events. Hurrying to the kitchen, she gathered more supplies to aid the deer's recovery. For several days, the creature gradually regained its strength. Remarkably, the wound appeared less severe than initially feared, and fortunately, it had not succumbed to infection. Diligently, Ella tended to the deer's needs, changing bandages, ensuring cleanliness, and providing proper care. Over time, the wound began to scab over, slowly but steadily healing. Meanwhile, an unspoken bond of friendship developed between Ella and the deer. The animal seemed to comprehend that Ella had played a vital role in saving its life, and a mutual understanding formed between them. One morning, Ella woke up to find the deer absent from her porch, its usual resting spot since she had first brought it there. Instead, as Ella stepped outside, she was surprised to find a deer in her garden, laboriously moving a boat with careful steps. Observing the wound on the upper part of its front legs, Ella understood why the deer moved cautiously despite its slight limp. Yet, despite its injury, the deer adapted, showing remarkable resilience. It eagerly approached Ella, gratefully accepting the bread and water she offered. Over the ensuing months, it found comfort and safety near Ella's home, gradually healing under her watchful care. Day by day, the deer regained its strength, and the limp faded until it moved with its former grace, as if the gunshot wound had never occurred. It was a stroke of luck that the outcome wasn't more dire. Though deer meat is considered a delicacy, tempting hunters with its premium quality, Ella couldn't bear the thought of the innocent animal suffering a slow, agonizing death. Her compassionate heart couldn't bear it, prompting her to extend pity and care to the wounded creature, choosing to protect and nurture it. Had Ella not intervened, the hunter would have relentlessly pursued the dying animal, ending its life for profit. The deer's valuable antlers would likely have been severed and sold, a tragic end to a life spared by Ella's compassion. It's unfortunate that animals with more impressive antlers often become targets, heightening their vulnerability. Despite not being a vegetarian, Ella found herself contemplating the merits of such a lifestyle due to these senseless killings. She believed that mindless slaughter, regardless of the target, was inherently wrong. As time went on, the deer began to explore further into the surrounding forest, sometimes disappearing from Ella's house for days. Yet, without fail, he would return, seeking the affectionate touch of Ella's hand and a bowl of nourishing food. Years passed, and the deer matured into a majestic and robust creature. Still, he continued his daily visits to his rescuer, especially during winter. Tapping his massive antlers gently against the window pane, he sought Ella's attention. In response, they established a cherished routine. Ella would bring him bread and spend time by his side, a task she embraced gladly without ever feeling burdened. She harbored a profound sense of responsibility and affection for the majestic deer, feeling deep gratitude and pride each time it returned to her. Every time she witnessed the deer in her backyard, her heart melted. She understood that his visits were an expression of appreciation for her past assistance, which only deepened her bond with the magnificent creature. Reflecting on their enduring bond, 81-year-old Ella shared, "When he approaches the window, he stands there patiently, almost as if he's peering through the curtains, eagerly awaiting my arrival. He lingers outside, knowing that I will come to offer him bread or something to eat. He is an exceptionally beautiful deer with grand antlers, which would be the dream trophy for any hunter. Thankfully, though, none of the hunters are targeting him anymore because he is our friend." Ella's words echoed the profound connection she had forged with the deer over the years. Their ongoing interactions spoke volumes about the depth of their relationship, which was built on mutual trust and gratitude. During winter, the deer frequents Ella's presence more often, while his visits in the summer and spring become less frequent as he roams far into the mountains. Nevertheless, whenever he does return, Ella feels immense joy. The deer genuinely enjoys the company of people and consistently demonstrates his ongoing gratitude for being saved. Ella, being the kind, considerate, and compassionate woman she is, would willingly repeat her actions without hesitation. Despite her age in her 80s, she still possesses a wealth of love to share. Saving the deer's life wasn't a mere obligation for Ella, but a heartfelt desire. She didn't perceive an animal or a potential source of sustenance. She recognized a sentient being needing assistance and affection. One of Ella's greatest achievements, and a source of pride throughout her life, is rescuing and befriending the special deer.